It was kind of like an opportunity of a lifetime. It was one of those where it was like, it almost seemed too good to be true, but we loved Naples, fell in love with every aspect of the job. It was great. He was a sales manager, I was a general manager. It was perfect. And then literally one day we were in our offices and our boss came in and said, pack up, go home. And I was like, I'm about to have a baby, my first baby. I'm freaking out. I was terrified.
We were very shocked when they told us that we weren't going to be working for them anymore, because we are planners. All of a sudden we're stuck with no job
A house we can't afford.
no plan B.
We kind of just looked at each other and we're like, okay, it's gonna be fine. And I, being a very anxious person, never in my life have felt that way.
We both almost had a sense of relief.
Yeah.
Without knowing what the next day was going to be, without knowing what the next job was going to be. In that very moment, we were scared, but had a relief knowing that God would take care of us, even though we don't necessarily have a plan. There was a little bit of an emptiness when we didn't have a church that we called home, where we said, what are we doing here? Our family's 1,000 miles away. Both of our families are 1,000 miles away. We have no friends, we have no family, and it's hard to find that.
Ever since, when you get involved, good things happen. That's kind of what we found. And we knew that we would meet people that were like us. We knew we'd meet people with the same kind of heart, the same kind of morals, the same kind of ideas. And that's what we were longing for at the same time. So
we knew that when we would find the right church, we both would look at each other and say, this is our church home. And that's exactly what happened at Living Word the very first day we went. We had both gotten raises in our jobs, which has allowed us to afford rent for our home, as well as the baby with all the expenses that come with little Layla. And our schedules have become more flexible, even though we tend to work even more, which allows us to get involved in the 20s group. I am on the events team, so I've been able to help out with some events, and Kelsey's able to go to worship practice and sing on Sundays and Wednesdays too.
it allowed me to be able to work from home. I never even thought that was even an option, and that just kind of fell into my lap with my boss being like, yeah, well, all the stuff that you do here, you do from home. So that saved us thousands would have been on daycare. I feel like timing has never really been a friend of ours, and it's never really worked out, I feel like, for us. And for everything to just line up, it was just like, there's no other reason that it should line up unless that's exactly where God wants us. So it was almost to the point where we were just laughing. We're like, oh my goodness, like if this isn't signs from God, I don't know what it is. So it was pretty awesome.
Ever since we joined Living Word, we could almost look at what has happened over the last 6 or 7 months and write it all down and say, this is God's plan for us. This was God's script that he had written for us. So for me, it's just not having any worries, knowing that God will take care of us no matter what. In the last year or so, that's fair.
It's learning to deal with the good, the bad, the ugly, knowing that if you do completely pursue God in every aspect of your life, like, it's gonna be okay no matter what. And people go through tragedies, they go through horrible things, but to have God completely in your heart, like, you're gonna be able to overcome it. And without God, people get stuck in ruts, they get stuck in these holes where they can't get out of. And we believe that if Christ is the center of your life, like, that won't happen, because you know it's gonna be okay.